Hello watchers, welcome back to the channel. For this video review, look at what I have here today. It is a Glycine, a watch brand that I haven't featured on the channel before. Thank you again to Graham, local watch collector enthusiast, who has made this watch available. It's been a pleasure to review some of Graham's pieces over the last few weeks. So Glycine is a company, is a name that has been over 100 years in existence, started in Switzerland by the original founder, Eugene Malin, and then surviving through many years, many different crises, before unfortunately getting acquired by DKSH, the Market Expansion Group, in 2014, and then, probably a lot of you know, Invicta bought over Glycine in 2016, about a year ago, which has been to the chagrin of many long-time Glycine fans. Now, Glycine perhaps is most famous for their Airman range, the 24-hour style watch, which was initially launched in the 1950s and still do appear to be the Glycine pieces that receive the most attention. This isn't an Airman, and we'll get into exactly what I have here. Now, Glycine as a name, I don't know what the deal is. Is it referencing the amino acid glycine? I'm not really sure, but if you look at the logo, now this is the original logo that had been in existence for many years before the recent change. I think maybe that's referencing the structure of the amino acid glycine. Who knows? If you know better than that, let me know what you think this logo actually comes from, because I can't find information on that. Now, the new logo you may have seen has been changed since Invicta's acquisition of it, and some people would say that it's been bastardized by the Invicta wings, but what can you say? I mean, that's the old logo. The new logo does have wings coming out the side there. Okay, so what can I say about this particular piece? You can see elegant little instructions here. It is an ETA 2824-2 movement, so that gives you a clue as to what exactly this is. Now get into the watch here. All right, the inner box here is made of some sort of covered, I think MDF or wood this is going to be. So black Glycine on the box, and yep, this is the very popular, or at least one model of the very popular combat sub range. Now this is reference 3863-19AT, a model that I think I'm pretty sure is no longer produced, particularly since Invicta overtook the company. This has now been slightly redesigned, not drastically, but there has been some slight redesigns that you will see in the latest version. So the current version, as far as I can tell, is the GL0088 that you can see on Glycine's website. There is slight differences to the dial, most particularly the logo just under the 12 o'clock mark. This version was purchased about 2 years ago. It may be a slightly older model than that. Then this actually, if you notice, does not actually have a logo on the dial, which probably adds to its collectability. It just has the name Glycine there without even that original Glycine logo. So this model, as far as I can tell, the original MSRP was 950 USD. Joe My Shop probably listed it for around the 500 mark. Right now, you have to pay markup prices for this, around the original MSRP, if I'm not mistaken. I'll put a couple of links to sites that still appear to sell it, including Noman watches. So in here is what they call the GL224 caliber. It is a modified 2824-2 movement. That very, very widely used movement that is in so many Swiss watches, including the Steinhardt that I reviewed recently, as well as my Oris Equistate. They're all based on that movement. 28,800 beats per hour, of course, 25 joule movement, 38-hour power reserve, nothing out of the ordinary or special there. Hacking, manual winding capability, as well as a quick set date, in this case via a window at the 3 o'clock position. The case is 42 millimeters in size. It is brushed stainless steel at the tops, 316L, and moving on to polished on the sides, 10.5 millimeters thick, and this is quite possibly the thinnest automatic dive watch I've ever seen, I've ever laid my hands on, and certainly on this channel this is the thinnest automatic diver I have featured. 22 millimeter lugs, which is appropriate for this size, and a screw-in case back that you've seen already with the Glycine Combat insignia. So you can see there, there is the Glycine symbol at the top there, and then a couple of seals with a trident, I suppose, with the word combat at the bottom there. I don't know what that symbol is. If you know, please tell me. You know, I'm tempted to think it's something to do with Navy SEALs, but I don't know for sure. And then you can see some of the details around the side there about sapphire crystal and the water rating, as well as the reference number 3863 of this watch. So already you can see, it's a black matte dial with Arabic numerals around the side, orange highlights, that orange minute marking circle around the side, as well as the hands, all three hands in the center there. The numerals are in superluminova, as well as the indices around the side, as well as the hands. Of course, this one glows green in the dark and functions relatively well, but it does seem to have a shorter lifespan, at least compared to my Oris Equistate. I'll put a loom shot, of course, here. Sapphire crystal on the top with internal anti-reflective coating, and then you've got the signed screw-in crown at the 3 o'clock position that you can see there. With the case back, it gives the 200 meter water rating. It's a steel insert on the bezel here. It isn't a ceramic insert, and interestingly, right, 5 clicks to 11. That's actually a 60 click unidirectional bezel, and I'm not really sure why they've gone with 60 clicks as opposed to the typical 120 clicks that you've come to expect from Swiss divers, or at least I've come to expect. You know, almost all the Swiss divers I've touched have 120 clicks. This one just has a slight different approach to that. So, you know, I'm not sure, but that's something different. The bracelet is stainless steel. You've seen already, brushed on the top and polished on the sides. I will make a note that this I think came originally with a rubber strap. So this is the original rubber strap from Glycine. You can see the logo there near the case fitting. Okay, so you know that's relatively comfortable. You know, it's got a solid buckle with the Glycine name there, but I am very much a bracelet person over rubber straps. So you know, I've put on this original Glycine bracelet that Graham made available. So you know, that's just my choice. But this, I believe, is what it came with originally. Now, going on to the bracelet again, it is a push pin link adjustment, so there's no screws on this. And then going on to the clasp, you can see it's got a press metal release. It's got a double safety there, and these are, you know, more solid pieces, but I believe it's all pressed metal here. You know, you can see certainly that bit is pressed metal, as is that safety keeper there. You know, so it's not a solid machine piece like in the higher end Swiss watches that you have seen, and there's no diver's extension that you can see there. So let's put it on for the wrist shots. And there you have it. You can see at 10.5 millimeters, it really sits very low on the wrist, lower than any other Swiss diver that I have you know, featured, that I've shown on this channel, and lower than just about any other automatic watch that I've seen, apart from maybe that you know, ultra thin Jaeger-LeCoultre that I featured a few weeks back. Okay, so there we go. What have I enjoyed about this? Well, you know, I think Glycine this model, the combat sub-models are really quite liked and respected for having their own style. They really do have a bit of their own style. You know, of course, it's going to take some from the Submariner. Look at that bezel, right? You know, I mean, the overall case shape, I suppose, but the lugs are slightly different. You know, certainly the dial is very different. Yes, the hand is, I suppose, Mercedes-like. It doesn't have the triple insignia, triple spears on the hour hand, but it's kind of Mercedes-like. But you know, look at the seconds hand. It's doing its own thing, isn't it? So it really, you know, has gained respect as an independent maker with its own style. Of course, it's no longer independent. It's now owned by Invicta. Who knows what's going to happen with the company? Already they've changed some things which fans haven't liked, but you know, they said they'll try to keep the original spirit of the company. We'll see what actually happens with Glycine. It is very sleek, you know, it really is. It's a thin, as you know, automatic divers go, and it is light. It's certainly lighter than the Steinhardt and the Oris that I featured before. What's not so good? Well, you know, again, you know, seems to be the Achilles heel of this price range. The Bracelet Clasp, you know, the Clasp release is weak. And then if you're talking about paying as much as you may have for a rubber strap watch, well, you know, that really makes you feel short on value, or at least I would feel short on value there. The bezel is a bit odd, you know, to be at 60 clicks. I think that's a little bit odd, why they chose to do that. That seems to be a little bit of a shortcoming, you know. I think that feels like a bit of cost cutting. I don't know what the reason behind that particular choice there, whether it's a vintage thing or not. And then subjectively, because it's light, for a watch that you may have to fork out, you know, close to 900 for these days, it just feels like there's a bit of lack of substance here. That's just my opinion. You know, light may be a good thing because, you know, it's easy to wear, it disappears on the wrist. But, you know, I'm just used to a bit more heft in the divers that I have used, that I've owned. Okay, so there you have it. You know, just keep in mind the current model, the GL0088, can be had for a lot cheaper than this, you know, model that is no longer in run, particularly with the clear dial without the Invicta influence logo. You know, you have to pay more for the old version. The new version, you're probably looking at around 600 USD after discount. Let me know what you think, guys. You know, this combat sub-series has been so popular. I've heard a lot of mention about it. You know, if you have one, I'd like to know your thoughts on, you know, how you found it. Give us a like if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to keep in touch. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.